From the moment Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach touched gloves in the center of the ring, there was an intensity in the air that couldn't be ignored. Two proud American warriors, each representing different styles, mindsets, and legacies, squared off under the bright lights with everything to prove and nothing to lose. The stakes were enormous, the crowd buzzing with anticipation as the opening bell echoed through the arena. What followed wasn't just a boxing match, it was a high-stakes war of attrition, precision, and pure will. Gervonta Davis came out with the kind of swagger you'd expect from a man who's knocked out almost everyone he's faced. He carried himself like a predator, eyes locked on Roach with icy calm. Lamont Roach, on the other hand, was all sharp focus and technical movement. While Davis stalked forward like a tank on a mission, Roach darted, pivoted, and snapped out, a probing jab to test the waters. The first round was tense, measured. Davis wasn't reckless, he was patient, watching, analyzing. Roach boxed smartly, keeping his distance, using his jab like a radar. He didn't let Davis get close enough to land anything major, but the danger was always there, looming, waiting. As round 2 began, Davis started to close the gap. With every passing second, he applied more pressure, inching forward behind that tight, high guard. Roach began to feel the heat. He threw combinations to keep Davis off him, mixing body shots and hooks to disrupt his rhythm. But Davis kept advancing like a man who knew exactly what he was doing. Midway through the round, Davis uncorked a brutal left uppercut that landed flush. Roach staggered but didn't go down. He clinched, recovered, and answered with a sharp right hand of his own that briefly halted Davis's momentum. The round ended with both men firing shots in close quarters, the crowd roaring with excitement. This wasn't going to be an easy night for either fighter. By the third round, Davis had fully settled into his rhythm. He was cutting off the ring beautifully, steering Roach into corners, taking away his ability to escape. Roach, to his credit, showed incredible footwork, slipping out of danger more than once and landing counterpunches that demanded Davis's respect. But there was a shift in tone. Davis was starting to land with authority. A short left to the yaw, ribs made Roach wince visibly. That body shot wasn't just pain, it was a message. Davis was breaking him down, piece by piece. In round 4, Roach surprised many by stepping into the fire. He stood his ground, trading with Davis in the pocket. For a few moments, he actually outlanded him, using angles, speed, and sheer guts. A slick uppercut right-hand combo found Davis's chin, snapping his head back. But Davis didn't flinch. He smiled. And then, as if flipping a switch, he unleashed a 3-punch combo that had Roach backing up fast. A thudding hook to the body, followed by a crashing left upstairs, nearly put Roach down, but he absorbed it, somehow staying on his feet. His toughness was undeniable, but the damage was accumulating. The 5th round saw a brief shift in momentum. Roach came out with urgency, knowing he had to slow Davis down. He jabbed relentlessly, throwing double and triple jabs to keep distance. He circled away from Davis's power hand and landed sharp counters when the opportunity arose. His timing was on point, his defense tighter, but even when Roach was scoring, it felt like Davis was looming. Every missed punch from Roach seemed to bring a punishing response from Tank. A right hand that landed on Davis's jaw didn't even faze him. He absorbed it, stepped forward, and fired back with a thunderous body shot that again left Roach gasping. The difference in power was becoming clear. Round 6 was brutal. Davis found a groove and began to stalk Roach with relentless purpose. He cornered him multiple times, letting his hands go in vicious combinations. A sweeping left hand smashed across Roach's face, sending him stumbling into the ropes. The referee took a close look, but Roach waved him off and tried to fight his way out. It was a mistake. Davis exploded with a flurry. Uppercut, hook, hook, body shot. Roach went down to a knee, shaking his head as he tried to catch his breath. He beat the count, blood trickling from his nose, his legs unsteady. But there was no quit in him. When round 7 began, it was all heart from Roach. He came out aggressive, swinging wildly, trying to turn the tide with sheer will. Davis, ever composed, slipped most of the shots and returned fire with brutal precision. One right hook to the ribs visibly took the wind out of Roach. Davis didn't let up. He walked Roach down, parried his jab, and ripped another left to the liver. Roach backed up, eyes wide, trying to survive. It was clear he was hurting, but still he refused to fold. He was getting punished, but he kept punching. For every 2 shots Davis landed, Roach tried to answer with 1. He was outgunned, but never outclassed. By the 8th round, Roach's movement had slowed. His legs weren't the same. Davis sensed it and pressed even harder. He began landing, at will, mixing shots to the head and body with frightening accuracy. Roach's face was swollen, his body battered, but his spirit wasn't broken. He dug deep and fired a right hand that caught Davis flush. The crowd gasped. Davis paused, took a step back, and then smiled again. It was that chilling smile fighters wear when they know they're in complete control. He nodded as if to say, "Nice shot." Then he roared forward and delivered another bone-rattling body shot that nearly doubled Roach over. In round 9, Davis nearly closed the show. He cornered Roach again, and this time he went all in. A monstrous left cross sent Roach crashing to the canvas. The crowd erupted. It looked like the end. But Roach, somehow, beat the count once more. His corner screamed for him to stay down, but he refused. The referee looked into his eyes and allowed him to continue. Davis smelled blood and went for the kill, unloading another barrage that had the entire arena on edge. But again, Roach survived. Battered, broken, but still swinging, he made it to the bell. Barely. The 10th and final round was a testament to both men's warrior spirits. Davis, knowing he had the fight in the bag, still pressed forward like it was the first round. Roach, knowing he needed a miracle, fought like a man possessed. For 3 minutes they exchanged everything they had left. Davis's punches were sharper, more powerful. Roach's were fueled by desperation. They stood toe-to-toe in the center of the ring, trading bombs, the crowd roaring with every connection. Davis rocked Roach again near the end of the round, but somehow Roach stayed upright. Bloodied, bruised, and exhausted, both men embraced at the final bell, earning mutual respect and the crowd's thunderous applause. When the scorecards were read, there was no surprise. Gervonta Davis won a dominant, unanimous decision, with judges scoring the bout overwhelmingly in his favor. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. Yes, Davis was the better fighter. Yes, he landed the harder shots, scored the knockdowns, and controlled the pace. But Lamont Roach walked out of that ring with something no one could take away: respect. He stood toe-to-toe with one of the most dangerous men in boxing and refused to fold. For Davis, it was another brutal performance that reaffirmed his position as one of the sport's elite. He showed power, patience, and precision in equal measure. He didn't just win, he broke down a tough, talented opponent and made it look inevitable. This was vintage Gervonta Davis, calculated, explosive, unstoppable. For Roach, it was a night that could define his career in a different way. He lost. The fight, yes, but he proved something even more important. He's got the heart of a champion. In a sport where courage often matters more than titles, Lamont Roach won over fans and critics alike. He earned his place in the conversation. He earned his moment. And maybe, just maybe, he earned another shot down the road. In the end, this wasn't just a fight. It was a display of everything that makes boxing great: skill, power, grit, and heart. Gervonta Davis may have walked out with the win, but both men left the ring as warriors. And the fans? They left with a memory they won't soon forget.